All right. Brianne, Heidi, welcome to the show. How are you?
We are great. Thank you for having us.
It's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. What all did you do for Thanksgiving? Did you guys do anything fun? Or you ladies? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say guys. That was really bad.
I mean, it's so hard to do anything fun right now and not feel guilty about it. So no, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't do anything. I don't think you did anything. Actually, Heidi just had a birthday. Her birthday was the 27th. Yes.
Happy birthday. Belated birthday. Wow. Yeah. So you didn't do anything fun on your birthday? Nothing.
I did not.
No? You stayed home, huh? Quarantined?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just cooked and
that's good.
Hung out.
What'd you cook?
We made a turkey Wellington.
Oh, wow.
Instead of just a regular turkey.
Yeah.
So that was
Heidi
fun.
makes delicious food.
I bet.
A good cook.
Yes.
But did anybody else feel like it was kind of nice to just be like, nope, can't do anything. Just
yes.
Stay home in my PJs.
yes. Yes. My wife and I were like that. We were like, oh, I can't wait to do nothing.
Yes.
Like we did have her parents over was the only thing we did. And we just literally did nothing. Like we just hung out.
Yeah.
Maybe played a little bit of ping pong, but that was it. And it was great. I feel relaxed, finally.
Right.
Like work has been crazy and doing all this stuff with the podcast. I mean, it's just been awesome, but at the same time, exhausting.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah. So let's see here. You do KC Golf Girls. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tell us about why. Why did you start this? What happened? Well, and how long ago? I feel like it wasn't that long ago, right?
It really hasn't been.
Okay.
We started, oh my gosh. Okay. So, I mean, Heidi's been playing golf her whole life. I think
all right.
you were 3 or 4 or something when you started. I had never touched a golf club, been on a golf course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew they existed, but not as places that people actually went to.
You're right.
Until the summer of 2018.
Oh, wow.
So Heidi and I work together.
Mm-hmm.
We're both hospital pharmacists at Advent Health Shawnee Mission. And I don't even know why you asked me. She was having an informal guest day at Milburn. She's a member at Milburn.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, hey, you should come and, come be my guest and, play some golf. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, sure, why not? It's summer, nice day. I'll just ride on the golf cart, whatever. And so, the first time I played golf, I played 18 holes and, had a chip in.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
And I think I was just totally hooked.
Yeah.
Ever since then. So, but we didn't start the Instagram until winter of 2018.
Holy cow. Okay.
So it's really just been 2 years.
Wow.
That we've, actually probably in a month will be 2 years.
Okay. That's interesting. I have so many more questions now knowing that you just got into the game in 2018. But Heidi, talk about your background. You started at 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And you've always played?
I've always played.
Yeah.
So I am the youngest of 3 girls.
Okay.
And I come from a big golfing family. My sisters don't golf though. So I think I was my dad's last hope.
To do something with hang out and get out and do recreational sport or whatever.
We lived on a farm and always had drove golf carts around, and I was always out in the field just hitting balls, and grew up with playing junior golf.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Did you grow up in Kansas City? Or?
No, we grew up in Iowa.
Iowa, okay. Nice. A lot of corn up there.
There was a lot of corn.
Yes.
A lot of corn, a lot of cows.
That's all. When did you come to Kansas City then?
I came to Kansas City in 2009. 2009.
Okay, cool. For work, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Nice.
Did my residency here and then just stayed.
So what's the difference between Iowa golf versus Kansas City golf? What have you found?
There's a lot more hills in Iowa.
Okay, yeah. I love that. Yeah, Wichita especially. I feel like, sorry if anyone's from Wichita or anything like that, but I feel like Wichita floods if it gets a 1/4 inch of rain down there and it's shuts down the whole city. But I'm just curious if you think, so do you think public golf courses in Kansas City are better than Iowa or Iowa better than Kansas City?
I think Kansas
Well, you're a member at Milburn. That's probably an unjust or unfair question.
I haven't always been a member there.
Okay.
But no, Kansas City has great public courses.
Yeah. I think some of the best in the country. And now I haven't played in every city, but I think it's one of the best. So
Yeah. Des Moines has a few nice ones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I think Kansas City by far has better golf.
Oh my God. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like we're spoiled by that because of the fact that there's so many great. I used to live in Chicago And I thought that Chicago had, great golf courses. Well, it was all private. Everything was private, so you couldn't get on them. And then sorry, Chicago. But then if you went and played a public golf course, it was either super expensive, like $200, $250 or $300 for one round, or it just was a really bad Goat Ranch golf course for like $30. And then you felt bad about paying $30, and you're like, it wasn't even that great. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we're also spoiled too because we get to golf longer than they do.
Oh my gosh, yes. Please, did either of you get to play in the last few days or anything?
I played yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
When you said that, or wait, who was texting me? I'm
Me.
sorry. Okay, yes. Okay, that's right. That was so funny when you said like, can we move it to Sunday? I almost replied with, yes, I can play golf now.
Because I had looked at the weather and I was like,
Yes, I was the same way. That's awesome. So where'd you play?
Iron Horse.
Nice.
I love that course.
Yes, it's a great golf course. Really great golf course out there. It's a shot shapers golf course. So you don't have to hit long clubs, but you definitely can, there's shorter holes out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a lot of strategy like that yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just more like, so just hope I make it over there.
Right. Did you get to play, Heidi?
I did not.
No. Chose not to, huh?
No, my husband played, but I did not.
Oh, dang. Where did he play? Milburn? You both play out in Milburn? So do you know Sean Chalk?
I do.
Okay, yeah. Sean and I used to work together out at Overland Park Golf Course before he went to
nice.
Milburn. Yeah.
We love Sean.
Oh my
Yeah, we
gosh.
both know Sean because I know Sean from OP. From
Oh my
Overland
gosh.
Park,
Okay,
just
that's
from
right. You
playing
play out there. Yes,
Mhm.
that's right.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's a crazy. He's such a nice guy.
he is so nice.
And I'm so glad he moved to Milburn. I think he was kind of nervous about it and didn't know if it was the right career move. But I think from what I can see, he's doing fantastic over there.
Yeah, he's doing so much for the ladies programs too,
That's great.
Which is amazing.
He and I started the couples golf out at Overland Park Golf Course when it was over at the West Links.
Oh, cool.
And it was like 2000. Oh my gosh, when was this? It might have been early 2000s. And we catered in, if you've heard of Crazy Good Eats, it was back before they were like established buildings now or restaurants. And they would bring all the food in every Friday. And then all the couples would go out and play, come back, and it just became this big thing out there.
Yeah.
And I think they still do it.
They do still do it.
It's
Some
crazy.
of the ladies that I play in Ladies League with during the summer do couples golf out there.
That's
So, yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What a good way. Do you feel like that's a great way to get in like ladies? I feel like, I was reading statistics before we got together in this room, and I was just curious on this I didn't realize these numbers, but there's like 19% of women play golf is what I was reading. Is that right? Do you guys know if there's, because that seems low to me.
That probably sounds about right.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a high number.
I know.
And I think that's one of the things that's part of why we wanted to start the Instagram. But that's just something that I have noticed too. Like, it can be hard to find ladies to play with.
Yeah.
And it's not easy as like a woman just like showing up and being like, I'm joining your twosome or I'm joining your threesome.
Right.
There's a lot. It's hard to be a girl on the range. It's hard to be a girl showing up to play golf on a public course. And so I wish that number, that percentage was higher. But I really do think that it's just it can be an intimidating sport to just start out and do.
Gender aside, regardless, I think it's for male and female, it could be very intimidating. It seems
very exclusive, and it seems very kind of unattainable when you think about like, oh, I have to know where to go. I have to have this equipment. I have to know what kind of equipment to buy. And then it's not like a natural, intuitive thing.
Like tennis. I just need to go get a racket and some tennis balls.
Right.
And I'm good. But then you also have to have a partner there, I guess. So
yeah.
Well, not really. You could find a wall.
You could find a wall.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, like what the range is. But
yeah.
but yeah, so I think it seems like to me, just even in the couple of years we've been doing the Instagram page, that there have been more women that have wanted to get involved with it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I really love is just getting messages from women that say like, hey, I've been thinking about it, or my significant other plays, or, it's just something that I kind of want to do. Like, where do I start? Where do I start with lessons? How do I get clubs?
What do I do when I get to the course? I think
Exactly.
we take that for granted. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of there's just so many questions, or sometimes there will be men that say like, you know, I want to give my wife lessons. Like, how do I get her into the game? And so I think all of those things are good, you know, conversations to have about, again, growing the game, making the game more inclusive and not such an intimidating, you know, thing to try to get into.
And that's why I wanted to do the podcast, is talk about the lighter side of it and kind of open up the things that no one's talking about that are weird, that the questions that you just went through of, you know, like I take for granted how easy it is for me to just show up at the golf course, park the car, grab the bag, walk in, know to go to the pro shop, check in, get a golf cart and stuff like that. Well, I had a buddy that's kind of getting new into the game, and he was like, I'll meet you out at the range. I was like, great. And I texted him. I was like, I'm on the range. I see him pull in, and he's not getting out of his car. And then all of a sudden I get a text message. What do I do?
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, you need to, you know, you can come out here, bring your clubs out here on the golf course out on the range. And he goes, well, where's the range? I mean, I'm in my head just going, well, it's the big green pad over here that I'm standing on. But he had, you know, from his perspective, he had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we take, I don't know how you break that down, except getting people to just feel comfortable to get outside and go explore it. You know, to me, it's like going on a hike for the first time and maybe Colorado or up into the mountains. You kind of have an idea where you're going. You're like, okay, I know it's going to take 2 or 3 hours, but I've never walked down this path before, so I don't know, do I turn right or left? What happens if I hit a fork in the road? But I think you have to get outside of your comfort zone and just go and explore and get out on the golf course and try it at least. So I feel like you kind of did that. You had a nudge a little bit from.
And I think the thing too that made a big difference is Heidi wasn't like, well, have you played before? I mean, are you any good? Like, she was just like, no, if you get out there and you're not having fun, like, just, you know, have another drink, ride along, no big deal. So I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel like I had to, like, not, you know, let her down in front of other people or whatever. That has changed. Now I do feel
she's too hard on herself.
Which is, a lot of people do that.
Right.
A lot of people do that. You know, they're way too hard on themselves, or they expect too much, you know, or you start to get to the point where you can hit the ball and you're getting the ball airborne, and then you're like, okay, I feel more comfortable going and playing 18 holes or something like that. And then you get the anxiety from having to be in front of other people.
Yes.
And that is, I mean, I don't think that really ever goes away. I think it becomes normal of you just are able to, like, address the ball and not be nervous and trembling with fear. I don't know. Have you ever had your name announced, like, on a first tee for college golf or anything?
No.
Yeah, you have. It's crazy. Like, I played in the Illinois Open up in Chicago, and they you know, it's like being on the PGA Tour. They're like, next on the tee in the 10:18 tee time, Billy Daniels playing out of Overland Park, Kansas, and your heart rate just goes through the roof.
They do that at our club championship.
Oh, they do? Yes.
Yeah. And even then, it's like I'm golfing with everybody I know.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
Still, your heart just starts, like, pounding.
Right.
You're like, please don't shank this into the range.
And it's so weird. It's like they just said your name, you know, but then just panic ensues for some reason right then and there. But it's either you have this fight or flight, I feel like, moment where you're like, okay, just step up, hit the ball, go through my routine. And that's why the practice swing and all this routine is so powerful, because it just becomes automatic. But that's crazy. So how many times have you played in the club championship out of Melbourne?
3 times.
3 times. How have you done?
And she's won it
Twice.
Oh my God. We have a champion in the room.
Yeah, 2 time.
Wow. Back to back?
Nope.
Oh, so you won for your first year?
17 and 2020.
Oh, this year? Oh man. Do you have a giant trophy?
No, it's more like an encased kind of thing.
That's still awesome, though.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you shoot?
I don't even remember.
You don't. That's typically how it goes. Like, seriously, like people like our out of Sycamore, our club champion is Tom Clifford, and he just doesn't remember any of it. I mean, he does, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, I'm just in the moment. I just go. I'm just playing golf. I am the exact opposite of that.
I was going to say, I would remember every
yes.
single
Yes. I remember every shot.
Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
It was a shock enough to win. I didn't even know. I felt I played horrible. That
really?
weekend. Yeah, and it was just.
So, yeah. So was it a 1 day, 2 day event?
2 day.
2 day. That's awesome.
And I was behind by 7 after the first day.
Oh my gosh.
So
maybe it's great that you just don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, whatever. I'll just go out and play my best round tomorrow, maybe. And then however I do.
Exactly.
Can I have some of that?
Else.
Yeah. I can't even do that when I'm just playing with my friends. on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm so nervous.
I mean, I think a lot of it is about breathing.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Your breathing can really calm you down when you have those moments.
Nice. So did you practice that the whole second round?
Yes.
We know you did breathe because you're still here. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's,
that's awesome.
kind of surreal, but, yeah.
That's pretty good.
And that's one thing I think too, like I keep telling her,
Yeah.
it's like, this game is mental.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like the physical part is good if you have that, but it's mental toughness.
Exhausting.
It
Yeah.
is.
Some of the, in that, I think that's like the biggest experiences I have. Well, first was doing the PAT, which is the player's ability test for becoming a PGA pro. It's 36 holes in one day, and you have to hit like, it's basically you have to shoot 80-80.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that anymore. I think it's maybe a little lower than that. But that is so, like you sit there and you tee off on the first round, you're like, I got this. This is easy. And then you make like a double, and you're like, uh-oh, this is getting a little bit more scary here. And the mental exhaustion of playing for almost, 8.5 hours, 9 hours. I can remember getting in the car, driving back from, it was at Alvamar.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember getting in the car and just like starting to cry. And I had passed. And I was like, why am I crying? I was just done, like mentally exhausted. And I remember coming home and just like falling asleep like right away and just being like so tired because you're never not thinking during that entire round. That's crazy.
Yeah, all of the coaches that I have worked with have definitely seen how just I can be really hard on myself, and
Mm-hmm.
and how much of it is really just in my head. So I'm working with Skip Maywald out at Iron Horse now, and he's always like, Bree, this game is 90% mental and 10% mental.
Yeah.
And he's just constantly like trying to, get me to like not think about it so much.
Yeah.
And I actually started taking lessons with Maureen Olson.
Yeah.
And she was kind of the same way. She was always like, we have got to figure out ways to kind of just get you, like, you have the movement and you have the athleticism, but you just get in your head and then it just takes you out of what you're doing. And so I'm still working on it.
It's hard. I mean, I don't think you'll ever, I developed and people who have listened to the show, I've talked about this a lot, is probably 4 or 5 years ago, I developed like, I tilt my head before I swing, and I never really knew it. And Jack Nicklaus does it too. So I was like, oh, cool, I do that. Well, someone asked me why I do that. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even know I did it. And so then the only thing I can think of is my left eye is my dominant eye. And so I'm just turning to be able to see the ball better. I don't know. But then I went out on a mission to try and stop it, which was the worst thing to do. And it has caused a complete like hiccup in my swing. Like I can't pull the trigger now. It's
funny, like the golf swing is so precise. And once you start analyzing your own and other people's, you start to notice these things that, like, honestly, when I first started playing, I hit some of my irons better than I do now.
Right.
And it's just because I didn't care what my swing looked like, because I didn't know what it was supposed to look like.
Right.
And now I'm like, ooh, I think that takeaway was too far inside, or
I
think I was over the top, or
I'll
what I mean.
change it on the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's inconsistent. And so it is really interesting though, because you start to notice these little things, or especially if you watch yourself, which I may watch myself too much.
Mm-hmm.
But you start to be like, why is my foot moving like that? Like, and then next time you do it, you're thinking like, am I moving my foot? I don't know.
Right.
So
video can be really good or it can be really detrimental. It can start the mental spiral. I feel like is you see what you're like, oh gosh, why don't I look like Rory? Why don't I look like Tiger? What the heck am I doing in my swing right now? Yeah.
I think that's like the good thing and the bad thing about Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Instagram's good for connecting people.
Right.
But then it's bad you're looking and trying to compare yourself to a professional.
Oh yeah.
And because I'll send my coach like videos of Nelly Korda, and I'll be like, that's what I want to do. So can we make that happen next lesson?
Right. Yeah. Yes. You'll
it
look
only takes
identical.
One lesson to do
yes.
that.
That's the yes. And that's why I think maybe the 90% mental and the 10% mental is the patience. One of those has to be patience.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah, because what do you think about that aspect of where you've been to where you are now? Like, what was your expectation? Obviously, it's very high, but at the same time, but I guess take us back to like 2018. What was going through your mind, and then what did you think would happen in the course of 2 years?
I mean, I think what has stayed the same is just how much I love the game, which to me was surprising considering the fact that I never knew anything about it.
Right.
But like we took a golf trip out to Palm Springs in December of 2018. So I'm playing golf on like some of the most beautiful courses in the world, hacking it up, like just have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I just, it
While
was
Heidi's shooting like even par.
Exactly.
And yeah.
But I just loved being out there. You know, I love the challenge, and I do get super frustrated. Heidi knows I get like super frustrated. But I think, you know, I have learned to like be a little bit patient and know that I'm not gonna, you know, drop my handicap 20 points in a season or whatever, and just also kind of like, again, take it for what it is. Just it's such a fun game to play, and also such a great way to connect with people and to get outside. It's so good. I mean, with everything that's been going on this year, you know, yes, the golf courses have been busy, which I think is great. And I know you kind of talked about that on your episode with Clayton from Swope.
Swope, yeah.
But it has also been kind of like my saving grace too. I mean, it was one thing that stayed a little bit normal.
Right.
When you're, you know, stressed and working in a hospital, it's just been like, I feel like we've just been going nonstop since, you know, February. But yeah, so I've tried to just kind of chill a little bit, and not be so like competitive with myself, and just more enjoy it and learn how to be like, well, that hole was terrible, but I could, you know, get a birdie on the next hole. Who knows? Like, just kind of, you know, keep it for what it is, which is a game. So
and I think you're onto something big time there. But I think it's a fine line between relaxing and just having fun and not pushing yourself. And I think that's the challenge of it's more maybe analyzing what the outcome should be and understanding the outcome. I mean, of a shot. The outcome of there's multiple outcomes that could come from it, and not necessarily being disappointed, but being understanding of maybe you chose the wrong club. Like sometimes I think about that, like I'll hit a shot and I hit it too far. It's like, well, the swing wasn't bad. Why am I mad at myself for hitting the shot? I chose the wrong club. I didn't, you know, and knowing your distances is really, really, really key, but that's not what I'm getting at. But I think that's where people have to have this ability to understand that what they did was actually really good. They just made a small mistake. And so to take the positive, I think you have to stay in maybe the 90-10 thing is really being 90% positive, but then also having this expectation to improve. But the positivity is probably the best part. I know when I play, and specifically like yesterday, just even keel the whole way and didn't really get upset, didn't get too high, didn't get too low, and just kind of kept going and played great. And I think that's the key is maybe during the round of just being like status quo, of just being like, okay, I'm just going to go make swings, make a swing each time. It's hard. Have you thought of any, like, started down that path at all? Or are you trying to, I don't know, like, you take a lot of lessons. I feel like I see that online or social media. Do you feel like the lessons is helping, or do you feel like your mental side is improving from the lessons?
I think mentally improving from the lessons for sure.
Okay.
And you know, I definitely don't hold back. Like if I have a bad round, I'll message Skip and I'll be like, oh my God.
How many times have you threatened to quit?
I usually threaten to quit. Well, it's actually gone down. So
this is true.
You know, like in 2019, I probably threatened to quit like 4 times that summer.
Oh,
and then, but this year, I don't think I actually threatened, maybe just one time. Yeah. But I also got new clubs, which made a huge difference.
It helps.
So I went to Golf MD, who are amazing.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to get him on the show. He and I keep talking.
Gosh,
yeah.
yes,
Mike Dickerson.
He would be great.
Yeah.
Mike would be great.
Yes. So.
But that's another thing. Like we were talking about the kind of intimidation factor earlier and how it can be difficult to get into the game and then also just progress. Because I was always like, am I good enough to get fitted for clubs? I don't know. And then I was afraid, and I even told Mike, he'd been trying to get me to go in forever, and I was like, I don't want to come in and be like hitting shots in front of people and, look like an idiot. And they're like,
Right.
what's this girl doing? So, it's all of those things that kind of you have to either work with or get over or something. But it was one of those things I would talk to Heidi about. Like, I don't know if my game is going to get better with this starter set of clubs I bought on Amazon.
Right.
But I'm also too afraid to go get the right equipment that might help me be better. So it's weird.
Yeah, because you run the risk of what I would think. What goes through my head is the fact that you might get fit 2019. Well, then 2 years from now, you might have a little bit different swing, or you might have, maybe you've gotten better. You have a higher swing speed. And the clubs don't necessarily. So I'm just making up numbers. I'm not saying that's what you did, but like, go spend $1,500 or $2,000 buying a set of sets of clubs, and then 2 years later, it's like, wait, I got to do this again.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not keen on that, but
I thought about that too. But it was kind of just one of those things. Like, well, how long are you going to wait? Like, what's the right time to do this?
Just do it.
Right.
I think,
just do it. Yeah. And it did. It made a big difference. They're fantastic. You
don't have to buy the clubs if you go fit. You go get fit. You could get fit and not buy the clubs. I'm not saying that's what you do, but that could be just go get fit and see what happens. See if you learn something. You might learn something.
Yeah.
You might know that you might find out the clubs you have are fine. And people are like, okay, great. And then psychologically, you might have a bigger boost in your game there of being like, okay, stuff I have isn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, but that's a terrible way of saying doesn't fit me.
Right.
Yeah. Because like, I know I've gone and gotten on launch monitors and stuff like that. And I had a 15-year-old driver that I would take and I would hit it next to the newer drivers, and I wouldn't see that big of an improvement to go spend $500 or $600 on it. And a shaft change might be the better thing.
Yeah.
So.
Or grips or something.
Right. Exactly. Talk a little bit about, like, because you're in the health industry and what you've seen on the golf courses, what golf courses were doing. Was it safe to go play golf? I know I might be blindsiding you guys with that question. I'm just curious what you guys think. So.
I think playing golf, yes, totally safe in my opinion. I think where it gets a little more dicey is like the clubhouses and, how they're managing that part of it. 'Cause we went out pretty early on, like March or April, I think. We went and played out at Falcon Valley. And, I think everybody's trying to do the best that they can.
Right.
Like, that's like, if there's a motto of the year, it's just like everyone's doing the best they can.
Well, we're all learning as well. I mean,
and everything
everyone
changes. Information is constantly changing. How do you? It's difficult for us even to keep up. But yeah, I think the game itself is a great way to still be active and get outdoors and do something that is a little bit of a stress reliever, unless golf makes you angry, which. Well,
I always think that's funny when I say that. I'm always like, "Oh, it relieves stress," and I'm like, "Does it?" Yeah, it's a different stress. Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I think more around where you have like a smaller area and lots of people in there, like the clubhouses and things like that. But it's just everybody trying to figure out the best way.
Yeah.
To deal with everything. I mean, the impact of this on businesses and
it's crazy.
It's crazy. So it's I don't know. There's no easy answers for sure.
No, yeah, and I didn't mean I'm not like anyone that's listening. This is not the guidance of like, oh, it is safe 100%. We're just talking about it,
right?
So.
Yes, I mean, I was, thrilled when things started opening back up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't kind of understand why they closed the ranges for a little while. But I was so relieved when, they opened leagues back up and things like that. 'Cause it was, again, just like something normal, like can I please have one normal
structure in my life again, please. Yes.
Right.
The Sycamore didn't open their leagues again.
Really?
But it's because I think it was right whenever they closed was the end of March, I think. And then they were closed for like 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe I could be wrong on that, but that was right up against the butt of the start of the league. And I think they just made a decision then. And now I'm kind of scared that they might not do the leagues again ever because they had such a great year.
Oh,
and,
gosh.
like that's typically leagues are to help fill those void of times,
Right.
Bring in additional revenue. they did so well that it's kind of going to be hard to go back because they've just seen, so like I said, like 35% up.
Yeah.
And that's with having the course closed for a period of time.
Yeah.
Where they did all the airification, and it was crazy.
I mean, it was hard making tee times.
Yes.
It really was.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that I do the ladies league at Overland Park in the summer. So I always had that on Thursday nights, but you know, if I even knew like, okay, I have this day off next week or in the next, I would be like checking tee times as soon as they opened up, just trying to get in, and then like scrambling, like who wants to play? Anybody want to play?
Yeah.
Because it was so busy. And it's still like that. Like you know, even for yesterday, trying to find somewhere, I was like, wow.
We got lucky. Well, yesterday we got lucky and were able to play about 10, 15, 10, 20, but there was a frost delay. And so we didn't tee off till I think almost 11, but it wasn't bad. But then Creekmore on Friday, we played Friday at Creekmore, and it was perfect. Like there was barely anybody out there. But then when I talked to the people at Sycamore, they were like, Friday was jam packed.
Yeah.
It just is crazy. I've never seen it like this ever since, I mean, I was in the golf industry. I mean, I know, well, take that back. When I worked at Overland Park Golf Course, so I worked there from 1998 to like 2006 or something like that. That was in the peak of their prime where they were doing like 50, 60,000 rounds a year. And that was, I mean, that was, it's still stacked out there a lot, but it's just crazy how many rounds they were doing. And it just, you know, every 8 minutes off of north, south, and west. It's crazy. So in that clubhouse, the clubhouse is amazing out there.
Oh, it's amazing.
Holy
and the
cow.
food is so good.
Yes.
Food and the drinks are so good.
Yeah. We went out there. Obviously, this was prior to COVID, but we went out there and just hung out in the bar and just had beers and went down and putt on those artificial greens in the back. Like, and I believe that's where the lessons is below, right?
Yes.
Is that the indoor facility?
I haven't been there since they've opened it, but
Gotcha.
I did go out there last winter when it was over in like the maintenance
Yes. Yeah.
shed back on.
I can remember setting that up
on South. And yeah, so it looks really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And I know they are going out to the people at Overland Park. I always call it Overland Park Golf Course, but it's Sykes Lady. And yes. And so that's just how it was when I was growing up. And so it's hard for me to adjust. I know that the people at Sykes Lady have been visiting with Imperial Golf because Imperial Golf did their indoor facility up in Parkville. And they're trying to figure out how to kind of pull some of that technology into those bays and areas down below. But I guess it's not as big. I thought it would be bigger down there. It's real narrow.
I think it's pretty narrow from what I've seen.
I've seen video of Maureen Olson doing lessons with people down there. And it might have been you. I don't know, or maybe not.
I haven't been down there since they have moved over to the new clubhouse. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
but it looks good. I mean, what they've done down there, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's great for them
I just wish we could go visit it and hang out in it again, but not right now.
Not right now.
So, how was Milburn with all the closure and stuff like that? Has the clubhouse been open at all, or?
Yeah, the clubhouse has been open.
Okay.
Definitely social distancing.
Yeah.
But tee times are insane.
That's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
We tried to get a tee time, and so it opens on Tuesday for Saturday.
Oh,
My
wow.
husband was 3 minutes late. The earliest tee time we could get was 3:22.
Really?
Yeah. So
3 minutes late.
Yep.
And then nothing until 3:22. That's crazy.
So it's insane.
Is it all by phone? Just curious.
No, we do app.
Okay, you do. Okay, I was curious because I was like, can you imagine fielding the phone calls and then all of a sudden there was nothing until 3:20? I was like, how did they do that?
Sean's just slaving away, answering multiple
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, but I think technology has been great.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
COVID. I mean, booking online and
Booking
not having to go in. I think
great.
that was the scariest part. Was when we first went out.
Yeah, because pro shops aren't ever huge. I mean, everybody's kind of in there, whatever. So booking online was great. And I think I really have to, kind of applaud all of the courses for working to try to make sure everybody felt comfortable. Like book online, you check in outside, and then all of like the hard work they did with cleaning the carts.
That was
I mean, it was, people were working really hard to make sure that we could keep the sport open, which I thought was really amazing. And, just again, like another great thing about golf. I think everybody's like, don't close the golf course.
Yeah, no, we want to go outside, please. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think from what I saw at every golf course I've been to is, you know, they're sanitizing constantly. It's all out. I think they've done a good job of not being like, look at us, we're sanitizing things, but putting a procedure in place to sanitize.
Right.
I think that was probably a challenge for most of them, of like having to get supplies when supplies was probably hard to come by, but then putting a process in place. I know Sycamore, like they're asking anyone that comes out there and plays, drives, instead of, they used to park their carts at the top of this hill that was down by the cart barn, and they've asked everyone to drive their cart down there, empty their carts, and then there's like sanitation stations down there, and the cart kids come over and start spraying the whole cart down and wiping it down. They're still doing that, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
But they're just, I mean, it's smart to me. But I found myself like forgetting that it was like COVID, and I'd be in the pro shop, and I, like when I first went out, I'd be like, hands in my pockets, you know, I'm here, you know, and I'd be like, see you later. Now I've gone in, I'm like, I'll touch something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go wash my hands, like right now. Like it's, you just forget about that stuff.
I know, you're sitting there like looking through clothes and you're
yes,
like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
I shouldn't have grabbed that.
why did I touch that? Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I've had some moments where I feel like I've had that like reaction, like pull my hand back really quick or something, which is overkill, I feel like, but you just forget. You're in this normal habit of,
it's a whole new world.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, I said, I think we found out that Brienne doesn't like to walk
No,
during COVID.
the golf course,
in the beginning,
or just walk in general?
In the beginning, like I was like, okay, I'll go and play golf if
Yeah.
we walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I am not. Okay. So
Yes. Now we're getting into it.
so like I don't have all of the stuff.
To walk?
Well, I
Like
mean, I didn't
legs?
have like a
No.
lighter bag.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
like this big bag, and I even posted a couple
It is
stories.
a walking bag, though. It's just
stories
very
about
heavy.
it. Like these bags are not made for like petite women's shoulders.
Yeah,
like, the
gotcha.
straps are falling off,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
hitting
They're
the
4
back of
inches
my
wide.
knee.
It's like the
Yes.
distance between my neck and my shoulders is 4 inches. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm like walking. Okay, and we were at Falcon Valley, which is not the easiest course
Correct,
to
yeah.
walk.
It's kinda
because
spread out.
It's very spread out. And I'm like, you know, I do cycling for my cardio. Like golf is not my workout. I do not play golf.
She wants
to,
a
like,
drink.
get a
Yes.
workout in.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the hardest part, though. You don't have a place to put your beverage.
I was just going to
That's
say, I
true.
thought that's what the answer was
So-
going to be.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was funny because I'm posting this like walking.
Yeah.
This is
great.
exhausting. This is great.
Yeah.
And so Andy from out at Kansas City Country Club was nice enough to send me this little lightweight carry bag. So now I have a carry bag. And I think the next thing would be a push cart because I don't mind walking. I mean,
Yes.
that's like a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah.
So that's my next mission is to find a good push cart, and then I'll be all about it. I mean, I would still prefer like feet up in the cart,
Right.
you know, drink in my hand. That's
We all
little bit-
prefer that.
A little bit more my
Yeah.
speed,
Yeah.
but you know, I can make do with a push cart.
I can't wait till she goes and plays. Like her favorite golf course is a walking only golf course.
So I took a trip out to
Are you good?
Branson.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Bandon. I was like,
no.
oh my gosh.
I might need some more experience
Yeah.
before I hit up Bandon, but
Yeah.
so I played like Paynes Valley
Yep.
and Ozark National, and then Mountaintop, which is walking only, the
Yeah.
par 3, 13 holes. But again, had a push cart, so it was totally doable. It was a lot of fun.
I haven't looked in a while, but I know like, you know, kind of a month or two into like after March or April, it was really hard to find push carts. Like you could not, they just weren't available.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of places
Sold
were
out.
walking only.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, people were.
That's crazy.
Shopping.
I'm curious I'm sure like a lot of people have one on their Christmas list. It's probably,
I know. I've kind of thought about it, and I'm like, well, we'll just wait and see.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see because hopefully in next December, we have a conference in Florida, and we are hoping to play Stream Song. which
Oh
is
my
walking
gosh.
Only,
Oh,
Stream
yeah?
Song is walking only?
with a caddy.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you don't have to carry your bag.
See.
Yeah.
The caddy would carry the bag. That's good.
Have you played there?
I have not. I want to.
Experience.
Yeah. Have you? So you have played there. Okay. Wow. How
Fun.
how far is it? Or do you remember the distance of the golf course? Like 6,200 yards or something like that? Okay. I'm just curious.
I didn't play from there. beginner.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's awesome. I have not played it. I want to go down and play it. There's a lot of golf courses I want to go play. Bandon being my top one that I want to go to. And Steve, if you listen to the episode, Steve wants me to go.
It's going to go next summer, right?
I hope, yeah. And I hope I can be part of that. I need to still convince my wife. I really haven't even talked about it with her yet.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But I would just love to be part of that, what he's doing. And I think that'd be just really fun to go out there. But it's walking only. I've heard that probably the same thing is you don't think about that when you're going out there. And then you're like, oh, we'll play 36 a day. And then you try to, like, we walk the first 18, you're like, I'm done. I'm done. I've heard so many people think they're just like, no, don't do 36. Just do 18 a day out there. But it's crazy. You got to love this game. Got to love this. Okay, so did you watch the match at all with Phil?
For like 15 minutes.
I didn't watch it.
It was horrible.
It was.
And I forgot about it.
I forgot about it too. Yeah.
I hate to say this, but anything that Tiger isn't playing in,
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like,
You love Phil, though.
I love Phil, but he wasn't playing with anybody else that was good.
Right. Yeah.
So
It was more, from what I've seen, it's just more banter back and forth. It wasn't even
it was, and there were just some horrible
golf.
played. It was so bad.
It's like if we went out and filmed our own rounds and tried to produce a show with it. It'd be awesome.
I think ours might even be better, though.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was Charles Barkley. The shot that I saw, it was Phil put Charles Barkley in the desert.
Yeah.
So he was in there, like, hitting behind a bush. And he didn't make it through. And so then Phil was, like, hitting, from this, like, cactus-looking thing.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
It was.
Yeah, I didn't record it, but I'll find the replay of it and watch it and just to get an idea. But, it was kind of
I thought the one last year was pretty bad when he and Tiger played with Peyton and
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom
Brady. I thought it was okay. I thought that was better than the attempts, the one with Rory. Well, not the Tiger Woods at Payne Valley, but the TaylorMade drive for rescue or whatever it was. I can't remember. But that one where it was Rory, Justin, Matt Wolf, and Dustin. Yep. Yes. I thought that one was awful.
It was just Matthew Wolf kind of talking the whole time.
Yes. And it was like, I'm so glad you said that, because that was my opinion the whole time. I was like, he has not shut up. Like, even when they were like off, like he was in the other side of the golf course, you could still hear him talking. And I was just like, wow. But the best part was when Dustin Johnson put him in his place. I don't remember what the line was, but it was something about Dustin Johnson missing the 3-foot putt or something like that. And then Dustin just turned around and said, like, well, how many career wins do you have or something like that? I'm like, yes. But
that's great.
How about Dustin winning the Masters? How cool was that?
That was fun to watch.
Yeah. I wish Tiger would have done better, but it still was really impressive what Dustin did.
He had a great year.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he had a really good year.
Coming back from, what was it, a knee issue? He had something.
Well, Koepka had his knee. Maybe I don't remember if Dustin last year had his knee. I don't remember that. I could be wrong, though.
Something.
Yeah.
Coming back from that.
It's a broken left wrist. No, I'm joking. That's just how he swings.
Which, like, have you ever tried to swing like that?
No. There's no way. I don't think there's any way I could do it. First off, I just don't think I have the body control to do that at the right time. And the way he turns his body, I just don't think I'm physically fit enough or flexible enough to turn my hips
That's
that
impressive.
enough. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
His flexibility is amazing.
He went to school with TJ Sullivan, who's been on this show. They were about the same time at Coastal Carolina. They were both he was on the PGA, or he was on the golf team. TJ wasn't, but that's just one of my friends. Sorry. Down a rabbit hole there for a second. I'm back now. Don't know where I was going with that, but sure. That was impressive. What do you think of seeing the Masters or Augusta without people on it?
It was weird.
It was
so
really weird.
Yes.
But it was, you kind of like, you'd be watching it and you'd be like, oh, looking at the course. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, normally I wouldn't be seeing any of this. I would just be seeing crowds and crowds and crowds of people.
Yeah. And 16 was the one for me. Yeah. On the left-hand side of 16, that's normally just grandstands.
Right.
And you don't really see the grass rolling up to the lake. And not like the first time the tee shot from behind it, I was like, what hole is that? I was like, oh my gosh, that's 16. I didn't even
like
recognize.
it gives you this whole other perspective of what the course looks like and the flow of the course. But it was very weird when, Dustin finished and
It's like,
yeah, I mean, you just, I don't know. You felt like he got cheated a little bit without having that, the big crowds
win.
cheering.
Like when Sergio won or when Phil won or something like that. It was their first time doing it. And it's like, bam, everyone goes crazy. Yes.
Yeah. So, there were parts that I was like, oh, it's kind of cool to be able to see the course and not have, people shouting and being weird. Yeah. But then I felt kind of bad that the players, didn't have that same feedback from the audience. And
I think the camera crew,
strange.
I think for 2020, the camera crews have done a really good job of not showing those like awkward moments where they still tip their hat to the camera or they still like, when no one's around. Yeah. But it makes me feel like they're probably doing that. We just don't get to see it. It's like when a basketball player goes up and shoots the free throws and no one's on the baseline and they still step forward and do the high fives, but no one's there. Like, I feel like it's just automatic for some of the golfers out there. They make a putt and they're like, and then it's like, oh, there's no one here to cheer me on.
Yes.
Oh, this is what I feel like when Billy plays golf. No one cheers. Yeah.
I just think it's fun when there's houses around it, and then you'll be on a hole, and all of a sudden there'll be like a crowd, right? And then you'll like see this like these people are having a party, and you're like, oh yes, that's not very kosher right now.
Yes, so. I thought that when they did the Tiger Woods thing at Payne Valley, there was no one wearing masks in the crowd. Yeah. That was weird.
Welcome to that's Springfield. I mean, that's
just down how okay. That was
even when I was because I was there, so I played Paynes Valley on September 11th, and they did the
Tigers match,
Tigers match.
I don't remember what it was called.
Paynes Valley Cup.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
On the 22nd. So just 2
11,
weeks or so. Yeah. And when I was down there, I mean, everyone in like people that worked in the pro shops and everything all wearing masks, but it was very hit or miss when you were out and about in the community for who would be wearing a mask or not. But that was really cool because they were still building holes when I was there playing. And the starter was so nice and was telling us like, oh, do you see this big pile of dirt? This is going to be where they, stand at the beginning and announce like, and they had, I think he said they had like 800 workers out there trying to finish the course for the tournament. So it was really cool to see on TV and to be like,
right.
Of course, they're playing from the Tiger tees, and I'm like, I was playing all the way up there.
Yeah. On the first hole, they're walking like, oh, there's my tee. They'd been walking for 100 yards. Yeah. It's like, that's awesome.
But it was kind of like, and I was even back there. I played at Ozark National a couple weeks ago, and still the same kind of like some masks, no masks. I don't know.
I feel like that's where, not that we have to go down this rabbit, but that's where a lot of the spread is coming from rural areas. Yeah. Because my chiropractor who's been on the show, they live down south, like south of Lewisburg. And he was saying it's hit or miss down there. It's crazy. And then they're upset when they're putting the mask mandate in place. And I'm like, upset, do your part. Come on, stop this thing. Yeah. But that's crazy. Yeah, it is. When I watched the Paynes Valley Cup, I was surprised because they were just all on the first tee. No one. It didn't surprise me the players, but the people behind them in the gallery, no one was wearing a mask. I was like, "What the?" I mean, there were. I should clarify. There were very few people wearing masks. There were people wearing masks, but not everyone was wearing masks. So it's crazy. Well, what's going on for 2021? What's your big plans, golf wise, personally wise, social media wise, whatever you guys are trying to do?
I don't even know how 2020 was. I mean, 2020 was weird, but when I think about like all this stuff we did in 2020. So I did Holy Moly. I don't know if you saw
that's
that.
right. Yeah. I wanted to,
Yeah. So that was crazy.
How did you even get on the show?
They basically just kind of reached out to me through Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And just said, hey, we think you'd be great. Are you interested?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, is this fake? Are you real? So I was like,
that's the same thing she said when I reached out via Gripping. Is this real? Yeah.
And yeah, so you had to do, I mean, it was kind of just jump through a bunch of hoops to, you know, just different, you had to do, I did like a phone interview, and then I did a Skype interview, and then I had to like make a bunch of videos and send them in, and they had to send those to ABC. And so it was a long process.
Like what type of videos? Just curious. Like what, like you hitting putts or you,
yes.
okay.
So you had to like, you had to do different, you know, they asked you to do like different putts, golf swings, and then just like a little bit about yourself, like, you know, your story with golf or whatever. Yeah. So it was actually a miracle that the show even got filmed, because I came back from filming in LA and like that week we went into lockdown, or the week after or something like that.
Wow.
So we finished it just right before the whole country like shut down.
So that was like in March that you recorded it? Or?
End of February,
beginning
of March.
You said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when we filmed it. And then it wasn't, you know, it wasn't on until the summer, but yeah, so that was fun and interesting. It was a lot of fun. It was great. And they're actually casting now, I think. So if anybody's interested listening out there.
There you go.
It was definitely a fun experience.
Yeah. I don't even I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it.
Oh,
so
you should watch it.
I'm going to watch it now.
Yeah, it's streaming on Hulu.
How did you do though?
Well,
can you spoil it?
Yeah, I
mean it's already aired.
It's already aired. So I did not win the $250,000 or the golden putter. But yeah, I'm episode 8.
Okay.
And I was set on fire, so you can see how that went.
Great.
I also had to.
How did that impact how did that impact your golf game? Is that something you're going to bring into your game when you're just out playing? You're going to set yourself on fire and hit shots?
I mean, I think, you know, it does teach you how to, you know, putt under pressure. I guess when you are literally being set on fire as you're trying to putt and wearing like this huge firefighter night suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about nerves and whatever, and it was kind of the same thing. Like, you know, they're like, okay, we're filming, go. And you're just like, oh my God, please just let me. And of course it's like extreme mini golf. So these aren't regular putts.
Right.
You know, you have to like get your ball to go up and around a huge, you know, planet or whatever.
Did you get to see any of the holes ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So you're not just being like, oh, and here you go. Like
right. Yeah. So they would tell you which ones you were filming, and you would get to have kind of a look at them. But sometimes that was almost worse, because then you would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it would just be a matter of waiting, because they would tell you what you were going to do, and then it might be like 8 hours before you would film. So then you're just thinking in your head, like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. But I met some really amazing people from just all over the country, and
that's awesome.
Have been able to stay in touch through social media. So it was. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I've always, like, you know, when you watch TV shows like that, I always sit there like, I won't say the show, but I watch this show and you can totally tell that they film portions and then they're like, cut. Okay, now change the scene. Now move the person over here. And then it's like they seam that together. How much, is that weird? Like they're like, okay, cut. Like they just get like a shot of you doing something. And then they're like, okay, now you're going to walk over here. And do they explain any of that to you?
Yeah. So, you know, and
sorry, I just am very intrigued by how the execution of this goes.
It is really interesting. And that's what made, even just when we sat down to watch the show, I was like, I don't know how any of this is going to look, because they have you film so many different things. Like you film kind of your little bio intro about who you are and whatever. And then they would want you to film like, you know, like an entry into a crowd but then when you're filming the hole, you know, so I would make my shot and have to do whatever the stunt is to like the obstacle course. So you may be like freezing cold because you've just fallen into water. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And it was in the desert out in California, like in February. So it was freezing.
Yeah.
And then you have to stand there and you're like shaking, you know, going into hypothermic shock, and you're waiting for your opponent to do their
hurry up of
it.
Yes.
And, you know, meanwhile, you've got cameras all around you. Like in the water again, spoiler alert, and I'm like trying to swim in this freezing cold water out, and I see this camera just like in my face as my hair is like plastered all over.
Get it out of here.
So then they'll say like, okay, you know, or we need you to do that again, or we need you to, you know, however they're making all the magic happen. And then a lot of times, you know, I didn't have any family there, so other people had family that were holding up signs or whatever.
Right.
So I think they probably felt bad that I didn't have any family or anything there. So I look over and I see someone holding a sign with my name on it, and I was just like, it's probably just a shot of my face, like, who is that?
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and definitely something that, you know, is now preserved, at least as long as it's streaming somewhere for anybody to watch. And
I'm going to go watch it now.
Make fun of me at any time.
Yeah. I did. I think you put I think you put the clip on your social media of you being on fire or something like that. I think I did see that. So I was like, what the heck is going on? But
what was your nickname again?
Oh, yeah.
I was the dark horse of mini golf. Yeah. Because they liked that I had just started playing. And, you know, like.
She'll come out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The first person my first opponent was like a coach or PGA pro or something. So they played that up.
Yeah. And you won that or no?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, you should watch.
I know. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Dang it. I'll stop asking these questions. Yeah. Just can't help it. It's crazy.
But yeah, so 2020, we really had the opportunity to just connect with so many people through social media. I think that's one of the best things about golf is people are like, you golf? I golf too.
Right.
And then you kind of like, you know, just have this immediate, now we're best friends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it really goes with the men too. Yeah.
It's easy for you guys though, because you guys just like, oh yeah, you can always, you know, play.
Yeah. But we don't say, oh, let's be friends. You know, we're like,
it's not like a stepbrothers. Like,
no,
did we just become best friends?
No, it's not. It's face to face, cordial, but then it's like behind this, it's like, I'm going to kick that guy, you know. Yeah. I mean, it's war out there when we're playing.
Savages.
Yes.
Savages.
Seriously. Yes. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, we've had the opportunity to work with some different brands, which I think is exciting.
Yeah.
And I think I'm always kind of like amazed at how, you know, how that part of it works.
Right.
And so hopefully for 2021, just continuing to grow and work with more people and play more golf in different parts of the country. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah.
What kind of growth did you see? Just curious. I don't even know. I know you've grown immensely in your followers.
Yeah, followers. And then I think just like finding, you know, different, like I have seen a lot of growth just in our women, and both the accounts that I follow and women accounts that follow us. And so I've really enjoyed just kind of connecting with them, both just through post interaction and stuff like that, but also, you know, just encouraging each other. And, you know, somebody will post something like I reposted this in my story, like things you should never say to a female golfer.
Right.
And
please don't tell me I said some of them during this podcast.
No, but it's usually like, oh, let me help you with that swing, or great swing, but I have tips for you, or, you know, like, oh, good for you. You play golf, and just, you know, things, and not that it's intentional, but it is it's an interesting perspective. And it was funny when I went to get fit for my driver last spring, Heidi came with me, and I had said before, like, it's sometimes I don't like going to the range because you get unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how, you know, you put headphones in, whatever. And so
how much you put signs around that say, please leave me alone, I am practicing.
Yes. So
it's like a magnet.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was getting fit for my driver and doing swings, and like it was just some guy comes up and at the PGA show too, the same thing happened. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just like realizing that, you know, women in golf, we kind of have, I think, a community where we just understand kind of what we love about the game, and then things that we can offer support to each other. And so I've really liked that part of the growth with it, is just making stronger connections with other women golfers, whether they're pros or whether they're just starting out. That's been that's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really good. And I do say like what I see on social media, not like I see everything, but it does seem like you do a really good job of encouraging people or gathering that group. So I think that's really commendable, and we're here to help. I mean, the podcast can help with that, hopefully, let's have you on again and talk about stuff like that of how to grow the game. I mean, I think not just in general, but I think women specifically. I think I think there's a lot of correlations that someone that just in general getting new into the game, we can talk about in the aspect of how to approach that, how it's appropriate to maybe not walk up to somebody while they're on the range and interrupt them. Well, you wouldn't do that to everybody. Why are you doing that? You know, right. I don't walk up to, hey, how you doing? Great swing. I don't do that to anybody.
Right. Yeah, you would never, and if someone did that to you, it'd be like,
who are you? Yeah. I'm sorry. Do I know you? Yeah.
And I do have to say, like, I have experienced it in a positive way.
Yeah. You don't mean it in all negative. Yeah.
It's definitely in just how it's intended. And, you know, I think, and it is kind of a weird thing. Like, you know that they don't mean it in a bad way, but just sometimes the way it's approached or the way it's delivered can be, you know, kind of weird.
Sleazebally.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
It's basically what the cart girl goes through every time. Yes, every time they like, yes, can I get a beer? Yeah. It's not said like that.
Right.
So, and that's just terrible. I think it's terrible. But that is an episode I do want to do of have some of the cart girls come on and talk about the experiences they have and how like rude that is. Mm-hmm. Like, so, cause
I can't even, I can't even believe some of the stuff that they have to put up with.
Apparently the saying of like act like your mother is around all the time just doesn't exist on a golf course. Yeah. So you were going to say something, Heidi. Sorry.
I was going to say like it's no wonder we play a lot of resort courses. Yeah. And the cart girls are always very happy to see us. Oh, yes. They're like, oh, we love you guys being out here.
That's awesome.
And now we know why. It is true. Like even when I was playing down in Branson, there was a lady that the cart girl came and she was like, oh, it's just love seeing more women out here on the course. And she's, you know, talking about playing with her friends. Right. And I think it is nice. And it's funny. This is something else that I have to work on with my nerves, just like having to play with strangers. Yeah. But the last time I played Ozark National just a few weeks ago, I went with girlfriends, but none of them play golf. So they were like, you know, what are we going to do? We're going to have a spa day. We're going to go get our nails done. And I was like, I'm going to play golf. I will meet up with you guys later, but awesome. I'm going to go play golf. But then I'm like, you know, all nervous. And I check into the pro shop and I'm like, can you tell me who I'm playing with? Right. And it happened to be a man and his wife who were super nice and super fun. But talking about seeing other ladies on the course, when they said, oh, you're playing with this couple, and it was like, yay, another lady that I get to play with, because, you know, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, what if I get paired with like some, you know, weird drunk guys or whatever. And I'm
frat boys. Right? Yes. Yeah.
You know, which would have been fine because you can adapt, but yeah, it's always very exciting as a woman when you're like, oh, I get to play with another lady. Yeah. Heidi and I went out to play at Sykes Lady one day, and we got paired up with this man who was playing with his daughter. And so even that was fun for us awesome. Because, hello, Reese, if you happen to listen. She was so fun to play with. But yeah, it was just, and that was something we love to see too, like dad getting, you know, his daughter into it. And she was a great player. She played really well. Yeah. But we thought that was fun too, and liked that we were also there to show her like, yes, you can just come out and play, and not feel intimidated or like, oh, you have to, you know.
Well, don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, seriously, like we were out at Sycamore and we were out on the putting green, and there was a young girl playing and working on her bunker game over there. And one of our buddies was like, I'm going to challenge her. She looks like a good golfer. I'm going to challenge her. So he challenged her to a bunker competition.
Oh, how funny.
He won. I will say that. But then they asked her what her best score out there at Sycamore was, and it was like 66 or something like that. Wow. It was crazy. And we were all just like, what? And she was incredible. Like, she was a really good golfer.
Good for her.
And then like 2 weeks later, I was out there in the evening playing, and she came flying. I was walking, and we both got to the first tee at the same time. And I looked at her and I said, hey, I'm going to tee off, but I'm walking. why don't you tee off at the same time, not the exact same time, but as I'm walking and you just play ahead of me. She crushed the ball.
Awesome.
I mean, it was amazing. And I just was like, all right. And then she parred the whole, like, I'm saying like she parred the whole, like she could have never parred it, but she was, I kept like I wasn't behind her for very long, but I kept watching her. She playing, I think she went par, birdie, par or something like that. Wow. It was just incredible. And she crushed the ball. So, I mean, and that's the thing, like we, to me, one of the driving forces I started the podcast was to help with change, because I think there's such this weird stigma and stereotype of not just towards women golfing, but just in general of the clothes that we can wear or not wear, or if you have your hat on backwards, or you're have a hoodie on, of the controversy that's happened with Rory or whatever wearing a hoodie. I just think it's so dumb. Like, in order for the game to grow, we as a golfing society have to understand that we have to be comfortable with things that aren't really traditional, and the game is evolving ever so slightly, I feel like, and that's just the challenge with it. So I think what you're doing to social media is commendable and awesome. So I'd love to be part of it and help in any way.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think the goal is just to make it relatable and fun. Yeah. And, you know, when you look at women on social media and women in golf and social media, a lot of times it can fall into some very distinct categories, which everybody has their own, their own goal and their own way of getting there. But I think for me and for us, it's really important that, it just shows like we are just normal people who love the game, and we, it's a huge part of our lives. I mean, oh my gosh, since I've started this, like that's all I do. Everybody, my family is like, what happened to you?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, you took up golf in 2018. You went crazy in 2019.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's just a big part of it for me, is like, we are really just about how much we love the game, how much we love to play, how much we want to make it inclusive and to make it attainable for other people to do and fun to watch, and, just all the highs and lows and ups and downs and all of the great things about the game. So
I think the relatable is it's the best part about it, but it's also probably the hardest part about it too.
Yeah.
Because how do you I'm struggling with that, because like you have to create content on a podcast that everyone wants to listen to. Well, everyone wants to listen to the big names in the game and stuff like that. But we can't relate to, like Tom Watson coming on the show. Not that he will or would, but maybe he will. Let's be hopeful.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Is like, we all can't sit here and relate to what he goes through. Like, he can tell us like, oh, I warm up with a 3-iron because of this, and this. Well, we go out and try that. We're going to hit like 17 shanks in a row,
right? And go home and cry in our car.
I have a 3-iron.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And I think that's where the challenge of what you're trying to do with is social media is a great place to do that, is to make it relatable. If I'm going out and I'm enjoying the game, I'm having fun, telling the story of, I went to Ozark National and I got paired with another man and his wife, and it was so much fun, and breaking down those barriers. And I think what I keep coming back to in my mind is making the entry point easier for people to just go out and try it and experience it. But we have to, as a society, golfers have to understand that there's challenges there that we just don't recognize, that we don't see. Like my buddy showing up and being like, where do I go? Like, it's like, for me, it's you walk into the clubhouse, and then it's like, I shouldn't have that opinion. I should be like, oh yeah, you need to, when you get here, park your car, go in, you'll get a bucket of balls. After you get your bucket of balls, grab your clubs. You can walk out on the range. It's, I don't know what direction it would be, south of the parking lot. I don't know if someone would know that, but you'll see it. It's this big, gigantic green tee area that there'll be like stalls that you can, all the language that we take for granted that no one knows in the game.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just create an episode of the podcast and I'll just read the terminology and definitions.
Just like, these are the things that you do.
Yes,
exactly. Even when we started, Heidi would be like, okay, I'm going to go check in. And I'm like, go check in.
What's that mean?
Where are you going?
Like at the concierge desk or what? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Or like, all the little things, driving a golf cart, etiquette.
Right.
I think we went out and played, a couple of the very first times that we played together, just that little par 3 out at Heart of America.
Yeah.
And so then of course we're carrying our bags and I set my bag down and Heidi's like, oh, you can't put your bag there.
Yes.
Just like things that you don't know, like, all of that, which again, takes time repairing divots and
pace of play.
Pace of
play. That's a tough one.
I have to say, honestly, probably, even though I'm not a great player, like score-wise, anytime I would be paired up with someone or I would be playing with someone new, I was always like, I promise I understand pace of play. I'm not afraid to pick up my ball. Like, don't worry, I'm not going to slow you down. And that's something that Heidi taught me, like, and I think part of playing at a country club probably teaches you that too, because you're
you gotta go fast.
Got to go fast.
But that's a really hard thing on both sides. It's very hard, I think, at least for me. It's hard when you're playing with somebody that doesn't understand pace of play, and you're trying to teach them, as Heidi was trying to teach you.
And it's hard to teach them without being sounding mean
about
it.
Yes, exactly.
And you're like, maybe don't look for that ball right now. Like we have to kind of.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, give it up.
It went into the water.
Yeah.
And the water is very dark. You're not going to see it. Yeah.
Or like, you're still hitting 7 and you're not on the green yet. Like, we just gotta go.
We got to go.
So I think that's something that I've always at least tried to tell people if I'm playing with them for the first time, like, I will not slow you down. I may not be birdieing every hole, but I at least understand pace of play. And oh my gosh, got stuck behind a foursome yesterday that definitely did not.
Oh, it's the worst.
And
we did too. We played behind a group yesterday, and it was just like we would get up to the hole, and we would just be like, "What are you
doing?"
Like no urgency whatsoever. No. It's like, put the flag back. Well, no, the flag never came out. They would like get done putting, and it felt like they would have a conversation on the green. Yeah. Like, oh, what did you get there, George? Well, John, I had 1, 2, I had a 4. And I'm just like, walk.
Right.
Like, walk to the cart.
I feel like we played behind the same group yesterday.
Oh my gosh. We did not. Yeah. But I do that. Like my brother-in-law is newer. He's not new into the game, but he's newer. And there's times I lose my patience. I need to be more patient with him, but like, he'll like come back to the cart and it's like he's putting his club into the bag and then he's cleaning his club, and I'm like, we got to go. Like, we're done with this hole. Let's go to the next hole. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
But I'm a deliberate player. Like, I take a long time over the ball, and so like I have no room to talk. But it's hard though, from both sides of what we're talking about, of like the new person into the game, knowing what they are or aren't supposed to do. And then the golfer that may be trying to help them is, I feel like the golfer, the Heidi and I have to be like, it's okay to tell them, like, just be polite about it, be like, okay, pace of play is important, and picking up your shot is not meaning that you're a bad golfer. Right. It's just, you're not capable of playing fast right now, so we're going to be mindful of that because of the group behind us.
But then the flip side to that too is like, it's okay, slow down.
Yes.
It's fine, because you also have to learn, like, we paid to be out here, they paid to be out here.
Yes.
Like, there's definitely a fine balance there, because a lot of times I would get so nervous about trying to keep pace of play that I would just, and
you're
not
even trying.
Right.
You're just like, okay, whack the ball again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I kind of experienced that. I played out at Heritage over the summer, and I was just playing with two guys that play, in the senior league there or whatever, who were super nice. And we're definitely keeping pace, and they're, parring they play there every week. They they definitely know the course. And there was a group behind us, I guess, who liked to play in under 2 hours.
Oh gosh.
And so they were complaining to the marshal that we were being too slow, and we ended up finishing the round in 3.5 hours. And, so I was kind of like, but I did start to feel very rushed and very pressured out there, because I was like, oh gosh, am I slowing them down? Like, am I? So there definitely is, learning what pace of play is, but also not feeling pressured to just speed through it. And then, because then it's not enjoyable. Like, that's the whole point, is to give yourself, time to enjoy it and not be rushed. So.
Yeah, I think, and you can have that effect. I totally understand where you're going, what you mean, because we've played around in like 3 hours and it felt slow because you're waiting on every shot. But you're still moving fast. But just because you get up to the tee and you can't fire right away, it feels slow. But then you get done, you're like, we played in 3 hours. Why do I feel like it took us forever out there? Because you did have to wait, but that's not a bad thing. That's such a hard thing, I feel like, pace of play. One thing I feel like would be really hard to do, but fun to do, is, I'm sure it'll come, and it's probably already here, is with technology, is to be able to track how long people do play, and then start to, as bad as it sounds, maybe label them by that. So if someone
We already have that.
Do you have it at Milburn?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So sorry, I'm going to put you. Can people not have certain tee times because of their pace?
It gets a little tricky
Okay.
with the politics.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
But if we have the information,
Mm-hmm.
then the golf committee can send them a letter
That's awesome.
that they're not allowed to get a preferred tee time the following week.
Right. Because they were slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But usually it's, sometimes it's like one guy in the group. I mean.
Yeah, which is hard. Like, and then everyone in the group.
For
right.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, but yeah, there are definitely some groups out there that are
Yeah.
labeled slow and you don't want to get behind them.
Nope. Yeah.
But there wouldn't be a way to do that at a public course.
I think there would. I think you just have to figure out, like, because ski resorts, everything like at a ski resort, they have the car, like, think of it as an app on your phone. You could QR code the carts, and that could be like ding, and register. You just would have to basically build like a loyalty app or like the cards at a grocery store where everything you do is tracked.
Yeah, and I guess that's true. Like if you, I mean, I play most of the same few courses.
Yeah. It would be hard. I'm not saying it wouldn't be easy. I just think
you could get, like, you're right. You may not be able to do every single person, and for the person that comes out and plays once a year.
One time. Right.
Right. But yeah, the people that, are even have memberships or whatever, or people like me that play OP several times throughout the year, SWOPE or, yeah, that would be interesting.
I think it would be hard. I'm not saying it wouldn't, there'd be some hurdles to get over, and then I don't know how you do manage the person that wants to play one time, and you can't like block off preferred tee times. I mean, you could, but then you might be reducing your revenue or something like that. So I think there's challenges, but I think technology is there. I just think, what would the expense be on the course side?
Right.
So like, and what's the benefit? Like, they install a system like this, are they going to make more money?
Right.
Probably not would be the thing, but unless they can figure out the loyalty side of it, like every dollar that you spend, I mean, what Starbucks has done with how they do stuff, I mean, they figured it out. They're like, okay, we need to have 10 drinks or whatever it is. And then it's changed since then. It's like, okay, if you buy a pastry, if you do all these things, all those stars go towards that, and then you can redeem them for whatever. Why can't golf courses do that too? Okay, you hit 20 buckets of balls this month. Keep track of that.
Right.
Okay, you get your 21st bucket free. I'd go back to a golf course that did that,
Yeah, and like, Overland Park has their patrons. I mean, you would know that you would have an established base of customers that you can pretty much count on average to stay the same from year to year.
Yeah. It would be your most loyal customers but you might gain some more people. You might gain a few more rounds from the person that goes out and plays 2 rounds at Overland Park Golf Course. Well, maybe they're going to play 5 now.
Right.
I don't know, but I just think it's interesting. I think the challenge would be the security side of it, of what Starbucks, that you put in your credit card into Starbucks and then you're loading that stuff. Because the trick to it to me would be having the food and everything instead of getting out your wallet, of just going through your app so that everything is tracked, and then rewarding people for that. Oh, you buy a turkey sandwich every time you play. Great. Your 5th turkey sandwich is free on us. Thank you for coming out. Don't know.
Well, and like Golf Now.
Yeah.
Those apps.
Yeah.
They charge you a fee.
Yeah.
Like, what is up with that?
I don't get it. Yeah. And the courses pay for it too.
Yeah, but if I call and make a reservation,
it's $1 or whatever it is.
So I think these courses should just have their own app and not go through.
Yes. And that's where I think that's the challenge. I think that would be awesome, but someone has to build the technology that allows the courses to be able to, basically, it's a package. Here's everything you have. Here's your app that's branded for you, but it's repeatable, at different golf courses, instead of these golf courses having to invest in it themselves. I think that's the problem. Is they're like, we can't afford to go spend $20,000 developing our own app that no one will probably use. So,
well, and then too, if you have, just from the consumer standpoint, if you have, like, if you play at the, the same handful of courses, I don't necessarily want 5 different
apps.
Like,
yes.
I want it to, I would like it to be seamless and the same so that I can use, it would be nice to have one big umbrella app, and then you pick, like, this is where
these are my courses.
Today.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where I'm playing today. And then you get your points or whatever for playing there. And
it's a good idea.
And then you can toggle back and forth between the different ones.
And the courses get rewarded for that too. It wouldn't just be on the consumer side of things. So that's being part of that society. Well, yeah. You guys want to go into business?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I still want like an app where I can be like, find other women to play
with,
like
and I think that could be part of it.
Tinder or whatever. For golf
swipe.
What would that be called?
You could make it whatever it is, whoever it is that you're looking for to play with. But I would like to be able to say like, yes, I want to play at this course at this time or whatever, and these are 3 other women that are also looking for someone to play with.
I think that's a really. Yes, I 100% agree with you, because that would help get more people into the game. Or, if you only have 2 people playing and you want to play with a couple other women,
right?
Hey, that's a way to connect. I do see that on there's a Facebook page like Casey Golf or whatever on Facebook. I do see people posting there from time to time, like,
really?
I've got a tee time at 11:24 at Dubs Dread. I have 2. Does anyone want to join us?
Oh, okay.
And I see it, but I think not everyone looks there.
Right.
And so I think it would be, if there was an app, or like you're saying, you could have multiple golf courses, not necessarily like message people, but you can go in an area like a forum almost and see people who have not filled out their tee times and be like, okay, yeah, I know I played with Janet a couple of weeks ago. I'd love to play with Janet again.
Right. And even if it's not, just looking to play with women or guys, just looking to play with guys, but even just knowing like who ahead of time you're going to be paired up with, I think can take a lot of that stress and nerves out. Which I am, people get tired of hearing me talk about, like, oh my God, I'm so nervous to play. But when you're a new golfer, like Ronnie was making, our boss is also a big golfer. It's actually really nice. A lot of people at the hospital play golf. So sometimes it makes it easy if you're, needing to like talk about golf or talk about watching the Masters or something.
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
People know what you're talking about. But, just saying like, why are you so nervous to go out and play by yourself? And it's like, aren't you? Don't you get nervous to go out and play by yourself? I don't know. But I think it would be nice if you kind of knew ahead of time, like, okay, or you could say, if you booked a tee time and you're like realizing you're playing with, I don't know, someone who's like a 2 handicap, and you might be like,
right.
Might change that around.
Or you wouldn't, and you'd be like, I could learn something from this 2 handicap.
Playing with people better than me is fantastic. It happens to me all the time, nearly every time I play. And you do learn something. Yeah. You just never know. I think, and sometimes I think I just have a little bit of like an insecurity thing, but you just never know how they're going to feel about playing with you. And you don't want to like look like an idiot.
I mean, I think it's an unwritten rule that when you make a tee time at a public course and you're a single or just 2, you're gonna get paired up.
You're getting paired up.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID and courses being so packed.
Yeah.
And so I kind of forget about that side. I'm just always like,
or when you're at a golf course on a resort, those are kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Those are some of the longest rounds of my life.
Oh, really?
But
yeah. I think the old thing of like that, someone told me this, actually, his name is Bob McKinney. He goes, no one cares how good you are as long as you play fast. Like, and I started thinking that's like so true. It's like, who cares if you can't hit the ball as long as you're just not slowing the group down? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously it's probably kind of weird if someone could never hit the ball and they just would like, pick it up after like 3 shots and you're like, okay, but.
I mean, I think about it too. Like if I'm playing with someone and they have a bad shot, I'm not like, oh my God. I kind of don't, cause you're really thinking about your own game. And one of your friends that we've played with before in Ladies' Days has said that to me before. She was like, everybody is in golf is so focused on what they're doing. Right. Really, they're not. I mean, they may see you hit a bad shot, but it's not like they're, like evil-eyeing you or whatever.
Exactly. Oh my God.
They're not going to remember the shot you hit on
the
last hole.
Yeah. Yes.
Even though you do.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Unfortunately, it's not all about you.
Right.
But
yeah.
I mean, in your head it is.
Yeah.
But
in your own game.
Right.
But yeah. Why doesn't everyone care about my game though? That's come on.
Yeah. Why isn't everybody just focusing on?
Can you imagine if you went out and played like you're with a foursome and all of a sudden none of them are playing golf? They're just there to support you and it's like helping you the whole way around. You can do this, Heidi. Come on, hit your driver. You're like, what the heck are you doing here? Yeah.
I mean, I tell my coach he just needs to kind of like be my caddy every time because you always hit the best shots when you're in your lesson.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, I got this. And you go out to play and you're like, I don't got this.
Why did I top that? What just happened? Yes. Yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah. I used to take lessons from Wayne Montgomery out at Heritage Park, and I felt like I'd show up and I'd be like, well, I've been hitting these shots like this. And he'd see me hit like one. He'd be like, okay, do this. And then it would just be like, perfect. And then I'd go out to the golf course. Not perfect.
Right.
Like, what the heck? I just hit like 30 shots. Great. And then I try to go play and I can't do it.
Yeah, but that's happening right now, being on the mats.
Oh, yeah.
At the range.
Yeah.
Perfect all the time.
Yeah. You can't miss it.
No.
Yeah. Da-dunk, even if you drop kick it.
Yeah.
It's still a great shot.
It is.
Well, when are they going off the mats out there in Millburn? Do you need me to call them? Tell them?
No, we won't go till spring.
I know. Yeah.
So.
That's that. What, is it Zoysia Fairways? I can't remember. That's right. Okay. That is such a fun, tight golf course to play.
It's a fun course to play.
Yeah. What was it? Were you there? Were you members when the clubhouse burnt down?
We joined right after.
You did? Okay.
Right after the new clubhouse.
Wow. I remember that. That was crazy when that was burning down. And I'd been in it several times before that, but it's crazy. Is the new one nice? I haven't been in the new one.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure nice. It is. That's kind of a dumb question, but like, did they build a bad one?
It's a dump.
Yeah. Has the course changed at all since? Have they done any renovations or anything out there?
Right now, it's kind of just trees, trimming up trees.
Oh, you have a ton of trees out there.
Sometimes when trees fall down, then the hole looks totally different.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. They took some tree holes. They took some holes out at Sycamore Ridge. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They took some trees out at Sycamore Ridge. Same thing. I agree. You get up on the tee box and you're like, it's like the first time ever playing this hole that you've never seen it that way. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Millburn's it's a fun course to play.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the other things being a new golfer is like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh. And we were kind of spoke about this at the beginning of this podcast and talking about how much great golf there is in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
So like when you don't play golf, I mean, yes, you realize in your peripheral vision, like, oh, I'm driving past a golf course, but it doesn't, you don't pay attention to it.
Right.
And then.
I do. I'm like, I want to hit that shot.
I know,
right
but
there.
you do because you're a golfer. Like when you're not a golfer, it's just like a thing that's there and you don't it doesn't factor into your, now, I'm like almost hitting the car in front of me driving past a golf course, like looking at golf courses I drive past every day.
Was that a par 5?
I drive past.
Probably get there in 2.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
I drive past Millburn on my way to work every day and I'm still like eyeballing it, every day when I drive past. But yeah, I mean, just like the number of golf courses in Kansas City is amazing and
per capita wise and stuff.
And really public courses like you guys were talking talking about in Chicago. That was something I was also kind of impressed with is like, oh, I can go play at all of these places and
for a reasonable price.
Exactly. For a really reasonable price. And the courses are in great shape and I mean sometimes you find some differences here and there in what you like or whatever, but that was always something that every year I'm like, I need to get out and play more courses in the area.
I'm guilty of that. I don't go out and play. I play the same course like all the time. I feel like I've played Sycamore Ridge and Creekmore is the only 2 courses I've played all year. Yeah. And I need to go out and play more. So. Yeah.
Like I didn't make it out to Dubs Dread this year and I really wanted to go play there. But yeah, like Falcon Valley, we love Minor Park. We love Swope.
Dean Ralston. Is he still out there or Paul?
At
Falcon Valley. Yeah. Dean was the manager for a long time. He was the manager for the long time. I think I don't know. He owned it, I thought, but maybe not.
See, that's the thing too. Falcon Valley is I think one of the nicest.
It's so
course.
Fun.
And then Overland Park, Lady Sykes. It's for the amount of play that gets, that course is in such
they
great
do a
condition.
really good job with it.
Doug and Mark over there, Doug's the I forget, he was the superintendent, but now he's like a director of golf for the city. And then Mark Szableski is the superintendent, I think, of Oak Park. They do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, for as busy as it is.
Unbelievable. I mean, what they do for, a golf course that is relatively cheap to play. I mean, my hands are hands down to them of what they can create. Kidding. It's awesome.
Well, and we play Minor Park quite a bit.
We love Minor Park.
And it's kind of a hidden gem out there. Like, there's some beautiful holes.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played Minor Park in a long time, but It definitely is. And I think it gets that bad run for a while of being just not the greatest golf course, but it's fun to play.
And they really do a good job out there. And they've, I know that they've upgraded a lot of stuff just within the last year.
Yeah.
They worked on their cart path, I think, and they have like a new range ball machine. We ran into Karsten and Chris out at the PGA show, and they were kind of talking about all the different things that they were planning for doing to the course, and that one's fun. I always love Swope.
Swope is
just kind of like an architectural gem. I think I don't know. It has so much character, and that's what I always love about golf courses is just finding like, you know, their little eccentricities. And
I would agree.
Where else have we played in the city? But yeah, there's still so many that I have not played that every year I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. I really want to, you know, go.
You gone up to Shoal Creek? Played up there?
I haven't played. Okay. Have you played Shoal Creek? I haven't.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a lot like, I guess, comparable to Iron Horse. Okay. It's a little longer than Iron Horse. Not as like iron for me. Irons off the tee a lot at Iron Horse, but not at Shoal Creek. You can hit driver and bomb it away. Or it's like Falcon Ridge, if you ever, or Falcon Lakes would be another one. It's like that.
Yeah.
That Zoysia style golf course, kind of links but treed at the same time. You gone up to what's those stuff way up? The Outlaw, way up there, Smithville Lake. There's 2 golf courses up there. They're pretty good. Yeah. I think it's the Deuce. No, it's not the Deuce. It's the Outlaw.
Because there's the National and the Deuce.
I've never played either of those either. I've never played Lake Quivira. I've heard that's really good.
Lake Quivira.
Yeah, I like Lake Quivira.
What about Shadow Glen? Have you played Shadow Glen?
I have played Shadow Glen.
I've heard that is like phenomenal. So, yeah.
It's a tight course.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
I lose quite a few golf balls when I go there.
I think we should do a match, the 2 of you versus if I can get Daniel to do it. We should
at a tight course where Heidi loses balls.
Yes, that's what we'll do it at.
How many strokes do I get?
No. We'll do it at a fair golf course. Yeah, we should do it at OP. We should do it at OP or something.
Fun. Yeah, OP would be fun.
Okay, we should try to organize that. That'd be a fun. Or get Steve Pope. Maybe we do it with Firefighter Golf.
That'd be great.
That'd be fun. We could do that.
Could it be a match thing, and we could, be like Phil and Charles Barkley?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. And we can just carry these around, the big podcast mics everywhere.
For all of our listening
Yes,
audience.
Exactly. It takes us 45 minutes to play one hole because, set the mics up again. Exactly. What'd you think of your shot? I thought it was great. Okay, all right, we're on to the next one.
Right.
Yes. Do you guys have handicaps?
Yes.
What is your handicap?
High.
That's okay. There's no judging. What's yours, Heidi?
I think it's like 13 or 14 right now.
Okay. So I'm a 5. Daniel's probably a 2. Steve's a 2. Steve Pope is a 2. Mm-hmm.
He's really good. I met him out at the Some Guy's Backyard tournament.
Okay. I want to do that next year, and I want to get them on the podcast.
Man, they would be. I mean, they were great.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do it because I think what they've done out there is amazing.
It's crazy.
And exactly like what I think is important about growing the game. Mm-hmm. Just making it inclusive and just no pressure, no intimidation.
Yeah.
I was very intimidated to play out there, but I could not hang with those guys.
Gotcha.
Let me tell you, the tournament was an entire day. You played the course. I mean, you had your team and you played every other team. So it was golf from when we started at 8 a.m. and they played until dark.
Oh, wow.
I had to props to Connor and the other guy that I played with, who was actually also a pharmacist, because I had to be like, you guys, I can't. I gotta go. I am exhausted.
Yeah, same. We've been out here for 12 hours.
Yes. But yeah, so what Zach and those guys have done out there is really cool. But I had the chance to talk to Steve quite a bit out there. So yeah, I think what he's doing with PTSD awareness and everything is really amazing.
Yeah, it was hard. He was really fun to talk to, and it was some of his stuff came up, and I will say I was not ready to, be emotionally prepared for that, to have to talk through that. And that was incredible. I mean, he's recognized within himself, and he can make a difference, I think however we can support him, I want to do that because I think it's just awesome.
we need more people like that to do things like that, because a lot of times, you know, the thought about PTSD or post-traumatic stress is more related to like big, huge things, like, you know, being in the military or something like September 11th. And my kind of main job at the hospital is I work on the mental health unit as a psychiatric pharmacist. So, you know, we see law enforcement and first responders and firefighters that struggle with, and even people that don't fall into any of those roles but have experienced trauma in one way or another. And what most people don't understand is they think, oh, I can't have this because what I experienced really wasn't that bad compared to what other people have experienced. So I think, you know, someone like Steve that's like spreading the word and growing awareness about, you know, it can be something that is happening to you. It doesn't, you don't have to experience it on some scale that makes it okay.
It can be anything, honestly. Like, I feel like anyone can have it. You know, I've been in a really bad work environment before, and it took years to come out of like not feeling like insecure at work or threatened. You know, it's like, oh, I'm not working right now and stuff like that. It's like, what? So I totally get it. It's not just those big events. It can be little things too. It can be little things,
relationships, all kinds of stuff. So
on the driving range, someone walks up to you and talk. Yeah, exactly.
You start to realize the signs.
Exactly.
Right away. Yeah.
Get out of here. Headphones on. Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun to do a little match.
I think we should. Yeah. We've got the middle, if you've heard, you know, the Middle Pin, you guys follow them on Instagram?
Yeah.
They are, so I've talked to him a bunch, and I think we're going to try to collaborate on doing a video together.
Oh, that would be
great. I think if we can get the Middle Pin involved, you guys involved, Steve involved, us involved, there we go.
Yeah.
We'll just do a big match.
Yeah, I always love what he posts on his Instagram. It's always...
Oh, yeah. He just did the video of Colbert Hills, and it was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
I'm just like, how did you do that?
Yeah, you just watch it and you're like, ooh.
Yeah. But the same thought of like driving by. It's all like drone footage of golf courses and stuff like that. They're in he's in Abilene, Kansas. Yeah. The guy that owns it is in Wichita. And so it's incredible. But you do, like, I watch those videos. I'm like, oh, I could hit there. That's where my drive would be. I'd probably hit a 9-iron from there. But yeah, it's so cool.
You just play it out in your head.
Yes. It's awesome. Well, cool. What else? We've been doing this for 1 hour and 36 minutes now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Doesn't seem like
no, it doesn't.
I mean, you get golfers together and they just can't shut up about it. So
true.
I think we should do that. I think we should just have like a roundtable discussion. I don't have enough microphones, so get everyone in here.
Here.
Exactly. Well, thank you both for joining the show.
Thank you for having
us.
It was great to be on. Yeah. And
tell people how they can follow you on Instagram or all your social media.
Yeah, we are on Instagram, KC Golf Girls. And we hope that people enjoy the content. We enjoy doing it. You know, it definitely can be effort into finding like what people enjoy and stuff like that. But again, like I think once you find a community of people that are passionate about something, which, you know, golfers, again, like you get them talking about golf gear and courses and technology and it's like everybody's all about it. So yeah, find us, follow us, engage. We always love to make new connections and get more people out there on the course.
Awesome. Anything else, Heidi?
No, this was great. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you both.